Prologue. The silence before the blade. Before the sword moves, there is silence. Before victory, there is suffering. Before mastery, there is isolation. Miyamoto Musashi did not speak to be liked. He spoke to carve warriors from weakness. This world is soft. Comfort is worshipped. Pain is avoided. Discipline is mocked. The samurai walked a different path. A path of steel, fire, blood, and shadow. Tonight you will hear 5 brutal truths, not motivation, not comfort, truth. If you listen fully, something weak in you will die, and something unbreakable will rise. Chapter 1, Truth 1. Discipline is suffering chosen daily. Discipline is not a feeling. It is not motivation. It is not inspiration whispered at the right moment. Discipline is suffering chosen again and again, without negotiation. Miyamoto Musashi understood this before most men understand themselves. He did not romanticize hardship, he accepted it. The modern world teaches you to avoid pain. The samurai taught you to select it, because pain, when chosen, becomes power. A sword is not forged by comfort, it is beaten by fire, it is shaped by repeated blows, it screams under the hammer, yet becomes lethal. So does the warrior. Musashi did not wake when he felt ready. He woke when it was time. He did not train when energy was high, he trained when resistance was strongest. This is the first brutal truth. Discipline is not meant to feel good. If it feels good, you are not deep enough. Most people wait until suffering is forced upon them, by failure, by regret, by age, by weakness. The samurai arrived early. They chose suffering before life chose it for them. Every morning is a battlefield. Every routine is a duel. You either strike first, or hesitation kills momentum. The body will resist, the mind will plead, excuses will arrive dressed as logic. Rest today, start tomorrow, you deserve comfort. These are not thoughts, they are enemies. Musashi warned against indulgence because indulgence dulls awareness. A dull mind hesitates. A hesitant warrior dies. Discipline demands action without emotional consent. You do not ask the body if it agrees. You command it. You do not debate with the mind. You override it. This is not cruelty. This is leadership. A man who cannot lead himself will be ruled by impulse. Suffering chosen daily creates a strange transformation. At first, it feels heavy. Then it feels neutral. Eventually, it feels necessary. Pain becomes familiar. Discomfort becomes background noise. Resistance loses its voice. This is where most quit, right before strength becomes permanent. Musashi lived with nothing unnecessary, no luxury, no excess, no softness. Not because he hated pleasure, but because pleasure weakens vigilance. Comfort trains you to expect ease. Discipline trains you to endure reality. A warrior who needs perfect conditions is already defeated. The path of discipline strips you bare. It removes illusion. It exposes weakness. You will discover how undisciplined your thoughts are, how fragile your focus is, how addicted you are to escape. This discovery hurts. Good. That pain is the blade sharpening itself. Musashi believed repetition was sacred, not intensity, consistency. One strike practiced 1,000 times, one movement refined daily, one decision repeated without exception. Discipline is not dramatic, it is boring, it is quiet, it is lonely. That is why it works. The weak seek excitement, the strong build structure. When discipline becomes routine, the mind stops resisting. When the mind stops resisting, execution becomes automatic. This is the samurai advantage. They did not rise to the occasion. They fell to their training. You must suffer when it is easy, so you are calm when it is hard. Every skipped discipline trains weakness. Every completed discipline trains authority over the self. There is no neutral choice. Either you suffer now by choice, or you suffer later by consequence. Musashi chose now. He understood something modern men avoid. Short-term suffering prevents lifelong regret. Discipline is a contract you sign in blood with your future self. Miss one day, and weakness learns it can negotiate. Miss twice, and resistance takes command. Miss often, and discipline collapses. This is why samurai discipline was absolute. No excuses, no exceptions, no emotional bargaining. The sword does not care how you feel. The battlefield does not pause for comfort, neither does life. Choose suffering while you still have control. Choose discipline while it still costs effort. Choose hardship before it chooses you. This is the first truth, and it is unforgiving, but it will make you unbreakable. Chapter 2. Truth 2. Control your mind or it will betray you. The enemy is not outside you. It never was. The most dangerous battlefield is the space behind your eyes. Miyamoto Musashi did not fear blades. He feared an undisciplined mind. Steel can be parried. An uncontrolled thought cannot. Your mind is a weapon. If you do not master it, it will turn against you, quietly, patiently, without warning. This is the second brutal truth. Your mind is not loyal. It serves comfort. It seeks safety. It avoids effort. Left unattended, it will sabotage discipline while convincing you it is protecting you. Fear speaks first, then doubt, then hesitation. By the time you realize what happened, momentum is gone. The samurai trained their bodies, yes, but they trained their minds more. Musashi practiced seijaku, calmness in motion, still water under violent wind, a steady flame in a storm. He learned to observe thoughts without obeying them. This is mastery. Most men believe every thought they have. That belief is slavery. A warrior treats thoughts like weather. They pass, they do not command. Anger clouds perception. Desire narrows vision. Fear distorts reality. These are not emotions, they are liabilities. Musashi entered battle already calm. Not because he lacked fear, but because he refused to let fear lead. You cannot eliminate emotion. You can place it in its proper position. The mind must serve the mission, not the other way around. Your thoughts will lie to you when discipline is required. They will say, "This is unnecessary. This is too much. You can do it later." These are not reflections. They are retreat signals. The moment you negotiate with them, you lose command. Mental control is not suppression. It is direction. You do not crush fear. You move with it. You do not deny doubt. You step forward anyway. This is why the samurai practice stillness daily. Breathing, observation, silence. Stillness reveals the noise. When the mind is quiet, intention becomes sharp. When intention is sharp, action is precise. A shaky mind creates sloppy movement. A steady mind creates lethal efficiency. Musashi taught awareness without attachment. See everything, cling to nothing. If you are attached to outcome, you panic. If you are attached to identity, you hesitate. If you are attached to comfort, you freeze. Detachment creates freedom. This is why the samurai accepted death. Once death is accepted, fear loses leverage. A mind that has made peace with the worst cannot be threatened. Most failures are not physical. They are mental collapses that happen before action begins. The battle is often lost before the sword leaves the sheath. Control your attention, control your breath, control your response. The one who controls the inner world controls the outer. Train your mind in boredom, train it in discomfort, train it in silence. Do not wait for chaos to test it. A disciplined mind is built slowly, through repetition, restraint, and refusal to indulge impulse. When chaos arrives, it will feel familiar. This is the samurai advantage. While others react, you remain still. While others panic, you observe. While others break, you execute. Because your mind is no longer the master, you are. Fail to control your mind, and it will betray you at the worst moment. Master it, and no force can shake you. This is the second truth, and it decides every battle before it begins. Chapter 3. Truth 3. Honor means living without excuses. Honor is not decoration, it is not reputation, it is not what others say about you. Honor is how you behave when no one is watching. Miyamoto Musashi lived by a code that allowed no refuge in excuses. He did not explain himself, he did not defend his failures, he corrected them. This is the third brutal truth. Every excuse is an act of self-betrayal. Excuses soften failure. They protect the ego, they poison responsibility. A samurai did not ask, "Why did this happen to me?" He asked, "What did I fail to prepare for?" Honor demands ownership, complete and immediate. If you are late, you failed discipline. If you are weak, you failed training. If your life is chaotic, you failed structure. No blaming, no complaining, no escape. The modern world teaches explanation. The samurai demanded correction. Excuses create comfort. Comfort erodes character. Musashi understood that the moment a man justifies weakness, that weakness becomes permanent. Honor means standing exposed before your own standards, not lowering them when they become inconvenient. A warrior keeps his word even when it costs him, especially when it costs him, because honor is not tested in ease, it is tested under pressure. The battlefield reveals everything. There are no alibis under steel. When you fail, silence is required, reflection is required, action is required, speech is unnecessary. Musashi believed a man's actions must speak louder than his intentions. Intention without execution is self-deception. You do not need to explain your discipline. You demonstrate it. You do not need to announce your struggle. You endure it. The samurai carried shame internally, not publicly. They corrected themselves in solitude. This is why honor creates quiet strength. A man who lives without excuses cannot be manipulated. He cannot be guilted. He cannot be distracted, because responsibility anchors him. Excuses fragment the mind. Responsibility unifies it. Honor also means consistency, not intensity, not perfection, consistency. Doing what must be done on good days and bad days alike. Your mood is irrelevant. Your duty is not. Musashi trained even when injured, even when exhausted, even when alone, not recklessly, but relentlessly. Honor is choosing effort over image. The modern man performs for attention, the samurai performed for truth. If you say you will act, act. If you fall short, correct it. If you fail, own it completely. No stories, no justification, no self-pity. Self-pity is the final excuse, and it destroys warriors from within. Honor is brutal because it removes your hiding places. You cannot blame your past. You cannot blame society. You cannot blame fate. Only action remains. Musashi wrote little about honor because he lived it. It did not need explanation. Your life is your testimony. Every disciplined action strengthens honor. Every excuse fractures it. This is the third truth. Live without excuses, and you will walk with the weight of a true warrior. Fail to do so, and no sword, no philosophy, no title will save you. Chapter 4. Truth 4. Solitude is the forge of greatness. Greatness is not born in crowds. It is forged in isolation. Miyamoto Musashi did not become Musashi among applause. He became Musashi in silence. This is the fourth brutal truth. If you cannot endure solitude, you cannot reach mastery. The modern world is loud. Endless voices, endless opinions, endless distraction. Noise weakens focus. Solitude sharpens it. The samurai understood this deeply. They withdrew not to escape the world, but to see it clearly. Musashi spent years wandering alone, sleeping on cold ground, training without witnesses, thinking without interruption. Solitude stripped him of illusion. When you are alone, there is no performance, no validation, no approval, only truth remains. This is why most fear solitude. In silence, weakness speaks loudly. Your discipline is exposed. Your excuses collapse. Your self-image cracks. Solitude is merciless. And that is why it works. In isolation, habits are revealed. In isolation, commitment is tested. In isolation, identity is forged. The samurai trained alone because mastery demands confrontation with the self. No teacher can fight your inner battles. No crowd can carry your discipline. Steel is forged away from the marketplace. Musashi believed true strength must exist even if the world disappears. If your confidence requires witnesses, it is fragile. If your discipline requires praise, it is temporary. Solitude removes dependence. In silence, you learn patience. In silence, you refine awareness. In silence, you harden resolve. Time moves slower in solitude. Discomfort lingers longer. And that is the training. The mind seeks escape. The body seeks relief. Solitude denies both. You sit with discomfort. You train without distraction. You endure without entertainment. This builds unshakable inner authority. The modern man scrolls to avoid himself. The samurai sat still and faced himself. That difference decides everything. Solitude is where repetition becomes sacred, where form is refined, where discipline becomes instinct. It is where ego dies, no comparison, no competition, only improvement. Musashi sharpened his sword in silence. But more importantly, he sharpened his attention. When battle came, nothing felt unfamiliar. The noise of war could not disturb him because he had lived in silence longer than most live in chaos. Solitude does not make you weak. It reveals strength. Those who avoid it remain dependent. Those who embrace it become sovereign. If you cannot stand alone, you will cling in battle. If you cannot train unseen, you will crumble when observed. The forge is lonely, hot, unforgiving. But steel that avoids the forge remains iron. Seek solitude deliberately. Train where no one watches. Think where no one interrupts. Let silence break you, then rebuild you. This is the fourth truth. Greatness is not given. It is forged alone.